People who didn't masturbate or have sex until the age of 20 plus, what's your story? Worked at a grocery store, had one coworker who was always really nice to me, like overly nice. I thought she just thought of me as a friend. Until one day the subject of sex came up when we were closing the store. She brought up some of the stuff she had done, then asked about me. I was 21 at the time, and told her that I hadn't ever done anything. She laughed a bit, but more in disbelief than in jest. Later that night, I was playing BF1 with the boys and texting her. She was over at a friend's house and had been drinking, and somehow the conversation turned into us betting about something. I wagered I'd tell her something truly embarrassing I had done in high school. Her response was, "Okay, but if I'm right, I'm taking your virginity." I still thought she was joking. That is, until we made date plans and went fishing. I hadn't known they could make cut-off jean shorts so short. After that, we went on another date, then back to my place to watch a movie, and she took her winnings from the bet. We fooled around for about a month and a bit, but between my inexperience with women and how to treat them, and my own stupidity, I was a bit of an ass. So she broke up with me. In hindsight, I totally understand why. And then dated the same dude for like 4 years. I think of her sometimes and hope she's doing okay. She was a good person who had a lot of shitty things happen to her but was poised to be super successful in her schooling for post-secondary. She graduated post-secondary and became a dental technician last I saw. I'm happy for her and I hope her life is as beautiful as she deserves it to be. Story number 2. Well, I'm in my 30s now and still haven't had sex. Social anxiety caused me to start having self-esteem issues because seeing everyone else in high school able to do things that I would panic over made me feel like a coward and a failure. That morphed into depression that persisted through college. And I never was much of a drinker, even though alcohol was the only thing that made my head stop thinking. I just don't like the taste of alcohol a lot, and sometimes my stomach just rolls over and says, "You aren't drinking today," even if I was looking forward to drinking that night. In my late 20s, I started medication and seeing a therapist and tried online dating, and that ruined the self-esteem I had managed to build up. Still trying to get the medication right, but I'm just too tired to date. The endless swiping, being too autistic to converse and turn a match into a date, then having to find a place to go, then actually going on the date, that's all exhausting. And I'm already tired from work and my mental health as it is. Maybe one day I'll have sex, but it'll probably have to knock on my door. As for masturbation, I have never been religious, but I didn't jerk off until I was 21. Weird morals I had, having anxiety about being caught, and in general not really knowing what to do just led to me not jerking off. I didn't really watch porn before then either. Guess I was just a late bloomer when it comes to sex. And now the meds I'm on fuck with my sex drive and can make masturbating a long chore. I guess that's my story. Reading your comment, I find it almost weird how similar my experience has been to yours. I'm just a little younger than you, but I've had all the same problems. Unbeknownst to me, after some family circumstances and a few times moving in middle school and high school, I started drawing inwards. I would not let myself be open to any failure because I was so subconsciously afraid of it. Of course, this led to me not taking any chances that could hurt me. I became depressed. Sex and dating were not even on my radar. More than a decade later, I finally sought help from a therapist who made me aware of what I had gone through and was still going through. I am currently taking medication for it, but I need to find the right one. And I'm finally in a mental state where I can even be on a dating app and try to meet someone, but there's still a long way to go. I have a lot of regrets about missing out on experiences earlier and what someone will think about me now, but I try not to let it get me down too much. I was even hesitant to write this comment, but I know it would be better to let it out rather than keep it in. Masturbation, in my mind, was seen as taboo as I grew up in a conservative house where these topics weren't discussed at all. Oddly enough, I did watch porn, but didn't jerk off. I did start doing it in my mid-20s. Story number 3. Okay, so first off, I'm a guy, just so you know. I definitely masturbated growing up, but as far as sex was concerned, I lost my virginity at 38. This is not a troll post. You have no idea how much I wish it was. Growing up, my parents divorced when I was 7, and my mom was super overprotective. If you've happened to read the book, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, it was like that in so many ways. Growing up, I didn't do the normal things like sleepovers at a friend's house or friends coming to my house, no parties or anything like that. So I didn't know about the rest of the world and how things were. I would ask because I felt like I was missing out on things, but I didn't know what they were. I was immediately told, no, I wasn't. As far as sex, my mom was extremely conservative to the point of repression. Every time anything about sex would come on the TV, for example, a love scene or a sex joke, my mom would go off and talk about how awful and ridiculous it was. In short, I was raised to believe that sex was dirty, filthy, awful, and pretty much the worst thing you could possibly do. Not as bad as murder, obviously, but I hope you get my point. I was overweight growing up and quiet. Everybody liked me in school, but I definitely wasn't popular. So I lived my life like that. I wanted sex, but I also didn't want to spend all of eternity burning in a lake of fire. So there you go. I suspected that it wasn't really like that, of course, but when you think about that literally happening, then it's not worth the risk. From college on, everything changed. I actually was in the popular crowd and got offers for social things and sex. I always turned the sex down, saying I was waiting for marriage. I missed out on so much. I even had a girl that I loved so much and was beautiful want to be with me, and I convinced her not to. I never thought less of anyone who had sex. In fact, I admired them because they weren't raised to believe it was wrong, and therefore weren't accountable for all that. I wanted that so bad, but it was too late for me. As I got older, this depression, combined with several other unrelated events in my life, led to 4 suicide attempts. I'm grateful I made it through. Now, by a true miracle, I'm married, and I love her so much, but we still don't have sex. We have once since marriage, and it's been over 2 years. Every time we try, I literally start to feel sick, and any urge to do it is instantly gone. I've told her to go out and get her needs filled, that it's not her fault, but she refuses, saying she loves me too much. I did watch porn when I was younger, but I don't now. When I did, that felt right and normal, but real actual sex with someone I love felt gross and dirty. Also, as I've gotten older, my sex-related organs never fully developed, so I can't really have sex now anyway. I assume that's from a complete lack of use, but I don't know. So, yeah. Now I'm almost 45, and here we are. I've learned to find peace with some things, but I'm never too far from a complete and total breakdown about it. Yes, I'm in therapy and on meds. Some may not believe this is real, but everything I've said is 100% accurate to the best of my knowledge and memory. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more incredible Reddit tales. Share your thoughts or your own experiences in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring those amazing stories.